Hello, world.
Oh,
It's No Brainer. We're coming to you live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, your mom's radio, wherever it is. We're live. What's going on, D-Rec?
I'm trying to see what's going on with the live or the stream here.
It says we're live. It says we're going right
Here,
now.
okay. I'm auditing it, but I don't unless it's a little behind. Oh, there we go. It looks like we are.
Okay, good. So I'm your host. I'm Big Daddy, and I just thought we'd the Tuesday nights. Get used to it. We're going to be live between your steaming ears every Tuesday night. This is how we do. We want to get out there and talk to you. We want you guys to hop on YouTube. You can chat with us. Facebook, you can chat with us. I get. I don't know. Can you chat on Facebook?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I have to go check it out.
Thought you were my IT guy.
Yeah, IT clip guy. Fuck yeah.
That's it. I'm hiring somebody from the Philippines for $1.17 an hour. They hired. Actually, we have a girl who works for our office. She does appointment scheduling, and she's from South America, and she speaks very good English. I've talked to her a ton of times, and she does a great job. She's a lot cheaper than her American counterpart. And I hate to say it like that,
But she lives in America.
No, she lives in South America.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes
She's
sense.
a virtual assistant.
That makes sense.
I think she's in Costa Rica, Colombia, somewhere. I don't know, somewhere down there. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when I call somebody, and worst is when they're in America and I can't understand them.
What do you not have a problem with, like the fact that VAs are cheap?
No, man, let people work. It's capitalism. Go for it. You know,
No, like what I was saying is like a lot of people like shun that and look down on it, but like it's all about the cost of living and demand in your country too.
Of course, but I have heard people complain, go, "Oh, you're taking jobs away from Americans." But the problem is, I can pay this person $5.50 an hour. I'm just throwing a number out there.
You are, but did that same person do the Indeed search for you where they literally can't find anyone, and the first person they find is an inmate with 20 years in prison, and then they need $50 an hour to do customer service? You know?
Right. So let me hire somebody in another country who I can
total
pay
utter bullshit.
$10 an hour. You know,
who actually wants to work?
That's I guess that's capitalism. I don't know. I look. It's a free world. Let's make money. Everybody deserves to make money. I'm having a little coffee this evening.
Why?
It's my treat, my little sweet treat. We got flavored decaf for at night because we're on the carnivore diet, so you can't have. There's absolutely there's a couple. Actually, Daniel told me about a carnivore cheesecake. It's a cheesecake bite, and his wife sent over Yvonne sent over the recipe, and we have yet to make it. But he says it's amazing. It's like you make like a cup, and you like 2 spoonfuls, and that's all you need. You're good to go. And it's no sugar, no chemicals, no garbage. It's all carnivore. It's all eggs and whatever. But since we don't have that, our treat, we get flavored decaf, and we have a little coffee in the evening to get rid of the sweet tooth, I guess. And I will tell you this much. Yeah, I know.
Zero sugar, baby.
I also have my vodka because there's no sugar or carbs in that. It's not vodka. If I drank 40 ounces of vodka, good Lord.
You know what?
I saw a major problem, or I'd be getting cleaned up off the floor.
I was watching, I don't know why, but YouTube's been suggesting like OG video clips lately, like as in like early YouTube, like 2006, 7, 8, 9, kind of the early years when basically like it was a lot more about just doing like crazy stuff to get attention,
Like Jackass?
Kinda, yeah. There's this guy called the LA Beast, and the clips have like 10 to 15 million, all of them. And he just does like he dumped a 3-liter olive oil jug into a massive Erdinger German clear beer glass.
Right.
Excuse me. And then he downed it, and it was like 24,000 calories.
Oh, but
But speaking of alcohol, what he did is he got a cork and a plastic bottle and a bike pump, and he poured different types of alcohol into this bottle, and then he put the cork in the pump. He'd pump it up to pressurize it. He'd pull the cork out, and it would vaporize kind of that top layer, and then he inhaled the actual alcohol straight lungs, bloodstream, and he got drunk. And
oh yeah.
that would be a 0 calorie. I think, would that not be a 0 calorie way of getting drunk? Unless your body still has to like process the alcohol the same. But it's not actually like
That's
it's gotta be less than the standard of drinking it.
a good question because
It's like I
I
kinda
mean,
wanna try that because if I wanna get drunk, I don't
no,
wanna
I
like
mean,
drink a bunch of crap.
you could try it. I'm not gonna. I'll let you try it and let me know how it works out. Well, maybe we'll do it live on the show one night and watch Derek fall down on the floor.
I mean, it
Ladies
would
and
be
gentlemen, he's
awesome.
out.
Would it not be awesome to get like destroyed without the actual
And they used to tell
consumption
us,
of I wonder if you still get a hangover.
yeah, because it still's got to get in your bloodstream and take away
No,
oxygen.
Well, yeah, it is in your bloodstream. Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
so you're going to get a hangover. But how hardcore is it? I don't know. But you remember how they used to tell us to drink beer through a straw and you'll get drunk quicker? Drunk quicker? Yeah, drunk quicker.
I don't know if I really
I didn't believe it.
subscribe to
First of
that.
all, I hate straws. I don't drink with a
Why
straw.
would that? How could that possibly be?
Because you drink faster when you drink through a straw. So
that sounds strange.
yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just saying, I don't know that I would try it. I mean, if you shotgun a beer, it gets in your bloodstream quicker. So why wouldn't going through a straw be quicker?
Well, it's direct, but it's also not a wide range of flow either, right?
Most of the people I ever see drinking a beer from a straw are girls. And I don't say that in a sexist way. I just think let me get a little tipsy off 1 or 2 cans and then I don't have to worry about the calories or the carbs or anything like that. And I don't know,
I
But
don't
then again,
honestly.
I had friends. So someone I saw this post the other day and I'm going to steal it because it's totally true. Someone asked me why I don't drink anymore, and I said I went professional really at a young age, and I've retired. And so, I knew girls who would keep up with me drinking, and yet they'd weigh 100 pounds soaking wet, and yet I'm all bloated and fat from beer, and they're chugging beers right next to me, and they're not getting fat or anything. I don't get it. I did not get it. I don't know.
You don't get that they didn't get drunk with it?
No, how they didn't gain weight. I gained weight.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe they didn't eat anything all day.
Yeah, well, I see. That was my technique. If I knew I was going out partying, I would eat a big bowl of pasta or something and make sure that's in there. And
That's a bad technique because then you don't get drunk.
oh well, that's maybe
So
why
like
I was professional.
I would eat maybe at like 6 or 7 and then I'd go out at like 8 or 9 or 10. So there was something, but like if we just the second I would put food in, I would become undrunk. Like
You would sober up.
yeah, I don't mix food and alcohol hardly
That's
ever at all unless
why
it's
we
just like
used to.
it's like I want to enjoy a steak and a beer. Okay, just if it was if I want to eat an incredible dinner and get stuffed or if I want to get drunk, I completely separate them.
That's why after a night of partying, we'd hit the diner at 3 a.m. and get a
Yeah,
patty melt and cheese fries.
the greasiest food you can find. Taco
We
Bell
get
is
some
the
we get some
classic
disco
one.
fries and a patty melt. You're not from Jersey, so you don't know what disco fries are.
No, I don't.
It's a plate of fries with melted American cheese and a side of brown gravy. You dip it in.
We didn't even
And
have
it's
that. We just had chili cheese rice.
Did you guys have, or was that a Wisconsin thing? Did you guys have curds, cheese curds?
It's a Wisconsin thing.
Is it?
I
I
mean,
don't
not that we didn't have them, but we didn't like.
I never had heard of them till I think is it
Yeah, it wasn't part of
Clover?
our vernacular.
Is it Clover's that sells them? Something down here sells them, and I was like, "What the heck's a cheese curd?" I mean, I've had them, and they're okay.
A lot of people have them on their
It's
menu.
like fried cheese. I mean, it basically is like a mozzarella stick, but with, like, cheddar or something.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm not arguing the point. They're not horrible. I just didn't ever hear of them till I moved out of Jersey. We didn't, just like nobody's ever heard of disco fries. And most people do not have diners like we did. We have more diners per capita than anywhere else in America.
Jersey?
Yes. Yeah, there was so many, and we had so many regular spots. I mean, so this one diner by my house, the Hillsborough Diner, which is still there, um, was owned by a bunch of Turkish guys, and they loved us because we would come in hammered and bring them beer, whatever, and they'd feed us. And we were regulars there every night. And if trouble started, and we stopped it usually, and everybody in the diner knew us, and they knew not to mess around in the diner. It was usually people we didn't know who would come in and be stupid and want to fight. But these guys were hilarious, and of course, they talked to us in Turkish, and we had no idea what they were talking about. But they taught us all the bad words, and it was hilarious. I mean, unless you've been to a Jersey diner, you don't know. But the menu was kind of like the Cheesecake Factory. There's so much on the menu, but
Mhm.
everybody goes for the same thing. So at 3 in the morning, you're getting fries and a burger. I mean, but they got chicken parmesan, they got stuffed grape leaves. I mean, the craziest things on a diner menu. And then for breakfast, obviously, everybody go for the big grand slam breakfast, the big omelet or whatever. It was just great gut bomb food. I loved it. I love diners. Diners are the best. What did you guys have for after drinking all night to go eat? What was your staple stop?
That was a phase thing. That was basically like high school. We would pick up just 8 pounds of Burger King, basically. After high school was crazy because, like, man, I think 15, I think sophomore year and junior, 15, 16, I think there was about a year and a half period where I think this is 2000 or 2001. And I would bring home about 200 a week, which back then, if you think about it, it's not bad at all.
Right.
Um,
I was working at the gas station. I think I made probably
yeah.
about the same.
So I'd spend about 100, 150 of that, maybe 120 most weeks on Bacardi 151, which is 75% alcohol, and Miller Genuine Draft, which is throw up beer, or High Life, or just some disgusting absolute. And I won't say how we got the alcohol, but there were
No.
options there. But we probably almost every weeknight drank around and got destroyed, and then we would pick up um, Burger King. College was like college. I would say 95% Taco Bell. Just get destroyed. Show up at the drive-through at 2 a.m. There would be like 20, 30 cars. I mean, parking lot party, and just drink and then watch people throw up orange soda and stuff on their back seats and that kind of thing. And then post college, which I didn't really. I mean, by that time I wasn't really by college, I wasn't drinking to really get drunk, to be honest with you, because I'd had enough in high school. But after, I probably had about a year where I kind of went pretty hard, and we would do either Taco Bell or we would do a Coney place. I don't remember the exact name, but we'd get all these. But it's something Coney Island, and then it's basically just a diner that's open all night. So
Right.
like you're describing,
Right.
or the Beltline Bar, which was a well-known local Mexican joint with wet burritos and all that kind of stuff. So that
Ooh, that
was
sounds kind of good.
yeah. So I mean, if I was plastered by like midnight or one, we had a friend who was 10 years older than us. He would literally like drive us there and buy us massive wet burritos till our stomachs exploded just to shut us the hell up. And we'd be sober after that. And he'd be like, "You asshole." And we just wanted to go home and go to bed. So that was his way of kind of saying, "I'm going to end the night."
Yeah. So there was a place. So my cousin went to college down in West Palm Beach, and there was a place called The Spot, and it was a 24-hour restaurant, but they served beer up until a certain time, obviously, because you can only serve beer in Florida until like 2. And but they sold the little slider burgers, and you get a
Hmm.
basket of sliders and fries, and after a night, going to all the other bars in West Palm or Jupiter. We used to go to this place in Jupiter called Moscow's. Oh my gosh, it was an industrial bar or industrial nightclub. So they played like all that Nine Inch Nails and all that kind of stuff, and it was crazy,
Mhm.
like mosh pits breaking out. And or there was another place called Cruzan's, which was like the yuppie rich people bar, but we'd go crash it and have fun in there. For the 3 weeks I spent in West Palm Beach, I we caused enough havoc that my cousin said to me, he says, "As much as I'd love for you to live down here with me, I think we'd be dead." And I said, "You're absolutely right." So I went back to Jersey.
Probably a bad idea.
Yeah, it was not a bad idea. But I mean, I was exploring different places. So you grew up in Michigan. Was Florida your only option? Did you look at any other places to live, or was Florida it? You and your wife said, "We're going to Florida."
Um, yeah, at the time we decided that was the only place, that was the point.
You never had anywhere else in your mind that you wanted to possibly live?
Well, sure, I do every day, but in that in that given time frame, the it was Orlando.
Okay. Okay.
In that given moment, and the reason probably is because, I told you before, but I never went to, like, Disney World as a kid, and then she took me in 2015, right? So,
You guys were already married?
no, we didn't get married till 2017, but
Okay.
we've been together since '09, so we were living together, so essentially the same thing.
Living in sin.
So she took me there in 15, and then I was like, "This is incredible." And we're like, "Yeah, we should move here and live here. That'd be so cool, blah, 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 blah." Fast forward like 5 years later, between Disney Worlds, Disneylands, cruises, we had probably been to Disney stuff 25 times,
You've been to
and
Disneyland?
I've been everywhere.
How
So,
about Disney Tokyo?
yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like here?
I mean, every Disneyland has what you could call a Magic Kingdom there, right? The
Correct.
park with the castle.
Mhm.
And, like Disneyland California is 20 years older, so or 16 years older, so it just has more mature vegetation, more direct wall influence.
Oh, I've been to Disneyland.
Yeah.
I was at Disneyland before I went to Disney World. My
Yeah.
parents my parents did not like Florida.
In Tokyo, I wanna say Tokyo was built in the early '80s, because I think Paris
Mm.
was early '90s. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
might be right. Yeah, Tokyo was
Tokyo was
first in
81
Paris.
or '82, Paris was '91 or '92, Hong Kong was like '03, Shanghai was like 12. Um,
Have you been to
and
all of them?
yes. So, um, I don't know, long story short though, by the time COVID came, we didn't before COVID, you had the good, Trump economic growth period, right? Manufacturing was good.
Yes.
I was the VP of a facility. My job, I made 6 figures. My business, I made 6 figures. We built a brand new house. Rolling in money, just, low financial stress, just very busy with time and stuff.
Lost you, Derek. I guess I get to entertain you guys. Modern technology. You would think it would be locked down, but this happens. Every once in a while, we have a little snafu.
I have no idea why.
You push the "I'm out" button. I'm out.
No, because it's fine, right? I don't have any audio or video issues, right?
Not that I can see. You look fine. Let me look at
And it's catching its upload up,
your
so
1080p right now, and
it's a
well,
little
you're gonna be
behind.
on a different track. It said you'll be on a different track, so Laura's gonna have to edit that.
She'll have to
Well, this is
merge them.
live, so it doesn't matter. Just put the video up.
But we weren't planning on moving anywhere, honestly, because our life was really good.
Right.
And then when COVID hit, I can tell you, like, from a work aspect and um, travel and going out to eat, like, we're like, "Oh my god, this sucks." Like, it just a lot changed, and then that's when we came here in Memorial Day 2020, and we're like and I literally told her at that time, I was like, "You know what? If I'm gonna leave my job, then I have 1 income instead of 2, so let's buy a business so I have 2 incomes, and I take
Right.
this serious." And we were here 14 months after that. permanently. So that was
Interesting.
14
Okay.
months of selling everything in our home, donating everything in our home, reviewing 26 different businesses, reviewing 37 different rentals.
Have you
Uh,
run a marathon in all the Disneys?
yeah, in all of them.
Yeah.
No, I've only ran one straight marathon, but I've ran races. I've ran many races here, and then I've ran Disneyland as well.
So you didn't run in Paris or Shanghai or Hong Kong or
No,
Paris? You
not
did
at
Paris?
Disney. My wife did a 10K at like midnight in Paris during the Olympics. It was like it's kind of like the fun run version of the marathon sporting event, and that was incredible. That was insanity. I've never that was nuts. But um
What year was that?
that was last year. That was only like a year ago, man.
That's right. You guys went to Paris. I remember when you guys went over for the Olympics.
Yeah, it was our last big trip.
Oh, you went on a cruise. 2 cruises since then.
Yeah, but I don't count those because I don't pay for anything with those. I figured out a hack with my American Airlines points. I can cruise for free lots of times. So, so it's like, and plus, right? We live an hour from the port here, right? So,
Which
well,
one do you
unless
go to Canaveral or do you go to Miami?
85% of the time Canaveral, but even if you have to go to Fort Lauderdale, it's 2.5, 3 hours. So it's like, regardless, being here in Central Florida, cruises are like, it's easy.
I
It's
mean, the
like,
worst case scenario, you drive to Miami 4 hours.
we never take off from Miami. It'd be Fort Lauderdale, which is a little north of there, but still 3, we'll say.
So when we went to Miami a couple weeks ago, we stayed in a hotel that was right across the water from the where the cruise ships ported. So we got to see them cruising in and out, and it's pretty cool.
It is a cool.
When
It's a
we
nice
went on our
port.
cruise, we went out of Miami, and we did the Bahamas, Coco Cay, and Key West. It was a cool little cruise, 4 days, 3 nights. I don't think it was long enough, but it was long enough for us with the kids. Now, if I went on the next cruise that I want to go on, that I will go on someday. I'm not a big cruise guy. I'm not saying I don't like them. I'd rather just be on the open road, you know. But the next cruise I want to do is the big 14-day cruise, air and land one up in Alaska.
Yeah. When you say 14-day air and land, do you mean do Alaska where a week you're on the road seeing Denali and a week you're cruising? Or you want to do a 14-day cruise? Why did you freeze?
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you, dude.
That was me that froze?
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing.
That or you just had a retarded look in your eye. You just were like,
Where did I leave? Where did I last leave you?
huh?
What was I saying before?
Oh, I asked you by 14-day air land cruise in Alaska. Do you mean being on a boat for 14, or do you mean being on land for a week and a boat for a week? Because I don't even know if there's a 14-day. I think it's 10 is usually.
No. Alaska has a 14-day where they stop all up and down, and you can get off and you can go do stuff. That's why they call it air and land or a ship and water and land, because you go
Yeah,
off.
but there's not even that many stop. If you do a 10-day, you can hit every single city in that route.
I'm just telling you, my friends have gone.
Because there's Ketchikan, there's Skagway, there's Haines, there's Sitka, there's Juneau, and Anchorage isn't even part of it. You can end in there if you want, but usually when you're going out of Vancouver, it's those 5, and then you have like Glacier Bay. So that's usually there's only 6 or 7 possible places. So maybe unless they just do more intercoastal waterway cruising during that period, because there's just mad whales in there. So just tons of whales.
They're not happy.
Huh? No, not on the boat, in the water.
I'm saying they're angry. The whales are angry.
No, they're just flopping.
There's mad whales. I said that. What are they, angry?
No, there's just a really good whale watching during those cruises. But
so I don't know. There's Royal Caribbean. There's Princess.
Yep.
I'm looking at them. I don't know what would be the best one to look at, but
for Alaska,
yeah,
it would be either Disney, Holland America, or Norwegian, probably.
Well, I'm looking at there's Princess Cruises and there's Royal
Princess
Caribbean.
is good. Royal Caribbean sucks.
Do they? That's what we went on, actually.
Yeah, it's
Cruises. It's above Carnival, but
it's above Carnival, but it's not considered a.
So they're saying
There's
the best Alaskan cruise overall is Holland.
Holland America's good. It's pricey though because it's a much smaller and intimate ship.
Right, and then the best high-end cruise is Silver Sea Cruises. I've never heard of them.
Well,
Best
there's a
Alaskan
million.
cruise for families is Norwegian. Best
Norwegian's
cruise for
good.
couples is Princess.
Princess, Celebrity are good.
Best small ship is Alaskan Dream Cruises. Yeah, so Holland does a 7-day glacier discovery. Anyway, I just thought that was I mean, that's I don't know what I want. We just wanna go on an Alaskan cruise. I wanna go to Alaska, then I'll have been to 49 of the 50 states. If I go to Hawaii, it happens. If it doesn't, I won't die regretting it.
There are so many cruise lines though beyond those. Like there's Voyages, MSC, Oceania,
Is
Regent,
MSC isn't that the new one, the biggest ship out there?
Well, they're one of the biggest and oldest lines, but yeah, they're the one that has the huge ship out of Tampa, I believe.
Right, but what is the biggest ship out on the ocean right now?
I think it's an MSC
Is it?
or a
Okay.
Royal Caribbean, one of those two.
It was Royal Caribbean that we went on, or no, was it Norwegian? I don't remember. It was the ship we were on was, the Majestic of the Sea. So
That sounds royal. That's
whoever ends their ship with "of the sea" that's the cruise
Royal
line we're
Caribbean.
on. Yeah,
Royal Caribbean.
okay. It was an older ship, it was actually getting decommissioned.
Built in 92. When did you go on the cruise?
20 it was 15 years ago, so no, 15
Oh,
years. 2015 rather.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, that was probably one of its last
It was,
runs.
yeah, they
They're
told us
about a 25 years is about
you could tell it was dated for sure, but
yeah.
it was not horrible. Like I said, it was a short little, 4 days, 3 nights.
No.
And
Well, they upkeep them fine, but what happens like in the crew quarters and stuff and like the places you don't see of the ship don't
right.
get the same type of love, care, and updating. Those get really decrepit and nasty.
I watched a YouTube video where a guy who worked for the cruise lines actually went behind the scenes. I don't know what ship it was on. I'll have to find it and send it to you. But he went behind the scenes where the crew stayed, and they looked pretty happy and pretty well taken care of. Now, they didn't go into anyone's rooms, but they had the big room where they're all hanging out and eating. They had pool tables.
It
They had their
depends
own
who you
bar.
are. It depends who you are in the crew.
Well, this was
Like,
everybody. This is where he said all the crew hung out. Now, like I said, it was a video
no,
of
I'm
him holding
saying
up
like
their
in
end.
terms of your accommodations, your room, like
Oh yeah.
it depends who you are. The captain
Yeah.
lives like a Persian prince.
Well, I mean, don't you remember the TV show The Love Boat? The captain had the best room.
Well, I don't remember the show, but I know the captain.
It
Yeah,
was
the
long.
captain's room
It was
the
long but
captain's
clear.
room is like 3 or 4,000 square feet, and this is a cruise ship. It's bigger
Yeah.
than your house.
Yeah, because they live on it. They don't ever get off, do they?
Nah, and they have full concierge butler. I mean, it's insane. They're like
We
just
actually had a female captain.
yeah,
She was
they
pretty
have
cool.
it. They have it good. But if you're talking about like the cleaning staff and stuff, I mean, they're on the bottom of the ship in these dinky ass rooms with no porthole, and they get about 5 minutes of FaceTime with their family a day. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and they're making good bucks and sending it at home. But if you're on the lower rung up, it's not like your accommodations are not that great, and then also the amount of work you do is, the majority of days per week, you're, in bed at midnight, up at 7, and we work the entire day.
Yep. I talked to the guy who was the captain of my table in the dining hall, and I think he said he did a 3-month, and then he was off for a month, and they did 3 months, and then off for a month.
That's pretty tame, some of them do 4 or 5 or 6.
Well, I think because he has like he had like 8 kids. I was like, "Dude, when do you have time to make kids?" But he was from India. Nice guy, very nice guy. Um, I was really surprised, and maybe I'm wrong, and don't, take this the wrong, but there was no Americans who worked on the ship, barely. Everybody spoke English, but nobody was from America.
Why would they be?
I don't know. I
Usually
thought it was a cool gig. Like my
usually just
daughter
the entertainment staff is from America, but the service and, room service, cleaning, and food service are all, Filipino or Latin
My
America or whatever.
second oldest daughter, Maxine, actually went to school to be a cosmetologist and all that stuff, and she actually looked into working on the cruise line in their beauty salon,
Mm-hmm.
and, she said that was, one of the things that kinda turned her off because she might have been the only American on the whole ship.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she never took the job, but it would I don't know, it'd have been kinda cool. I'm not a boat guy, so I look, I've seen videos. Did you see that ship that was coming back to Jersey, got caught in a storm, and the
No.
waves were crashing over the deck? I mean, it was coming up over the top of the bow and everything, and people were getting tossed around, chairs and tables. It was pretty bad. I
No, I
said,
didn't see
"Yeah,
that.
that's not a ship I'd wanna be on. I'd be down in the bottom of the ship looking for begging the good Lord to come down and take me away."
Yeah, the movement of the boat is something that, you don't it doesn't do your equilibrium any favors. To
Right, and
me, if
we were
I'm
on
not
one.
hopping up on uh Dramamine the day or two before and every day on the ship, then I'm done.
I took, actually, we took ginger, I think it was, and I wore the
Mhm.
bracelets,
Yep. A lot of
and,
people do that.
there was only one time that I remember I got a little, "Whoa," was when we first were pulling out of the port, and I was standing there looking out the window, watching the land go by, and that got my equilibrium a little messed up. So I didn't do that, and one night, I mean, every night, me and Lorianne would go up to the top level and go out and just stand there and just look out to the ocean while we were just cruising. I mean, it didn't phase me. It was great. And one of the things I loved, I got up every morning. I get up pretty early, so I'm up around 6, and, I would get up and I would go walk the deck. They had like a track around one of the decks. You just walked around the whole ship. And, when we pulled into the Bahamas, I got to watch us pull into in and then the ship spin around and back in, and that
Mhm.
was really cool.
Yeah, NASA you back in.
Yeah. Now I did not get up and do that the morning we pulled back into Miami because we were too busy packing, because I think we got back in Miami like 7 AM and they wanted us off the boat. They're like, "Get off," because I think everybody else was coming on that afternoon, so it was they turn and burn there, baby. It was like the working at Planet Hollywood again. They were turning and burning.
You don't do the put your bags out the night before?
You know what? This was like 10 years ago. I don't remember.
Oh, okay. That's
I don't
what
remember.
most people do. Most people,
Maybe but there was still stuff we had to pack up in the room, but maybe our big bags we did. I
most people pack their big bag and then leave it out the night before.
Yeah, that might have been a possibility.
Yeah.
You know what looks really cool and I'd like to do it? Have you seen the river cruises?
Mhm. Biking, yep.
The one that goes up the Mississippi and stuff like that? That looks really like a
I would
lot of
do a
fun.
European one. I would
Well,
do like
yeah, I
the
mean, but
Danube or the
I know you
Seine.
love Europe, but I'm saying here in America, though, they got it goes up the Mississippi. And you can do
Yeah.
either the northern route or you can do the southern route. I
There's nothing to see on the Mississippi, that's the problem.
but you'd be on a pretty cool little boat just cruising along. And it's not like if the boat, sank, you couldn't swim to the shore. It's right there.
Yeah,
Did you,
well,
I guess you guys didn't have any big rivers by you, you just had big lakes.
oh, nothing massive. I mean, the river we had that was big was called the Grand River, and
Right.
that goes across, I don't know, about half the state of Michigan and then comes out into Lake Michigan, but that's a pretty wide river. I mean, not like the Mississippi, but it's respectable width, wider than anything we have here.
Well, where Lori Ann grew up, she grew up on the Missouri.
Missouri's probably bigger, yep.
Missouri's a big river. So
But
where she
Missouri
grew,
feeds
though,
the Mississippi directly along with Ohio, I believe.
and I find this very, very interesting. So she grew up in Sioux City, Iowa. You go over the bridge, and
Mhm,
then you're in South Sioux City, Nebraska.
mhm,
Sorry, Lyon, North Sioux City, Nebraska. And then you go across town and you're in South Sioux City, South Dakota.
mhm.
There's a spot in the city where there's like a marker, and you stand there and you're in all three states. I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, the problem with the Missouri is they get a lot of flooding there. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
sure the Mississippi floods too. But I guess in the spring when everything's melting from up in the Great White North, it comes down there and that river goes up, up, up.
Yeah, and if it melts too fast, then you get flooded.
Yeah, they get the
Yep.
like the quick
That would
washout.
happen with the Grand River too. Like there would be a couple years when it melted so fast that the buildings along the water, because there was like a raised like wharf and then buildings, maybe 20, 30 feet above the water. And there would be a couple times here or there where you'd see a couple of pictures of people in the buildings taking a picture where the water covers the entire window.
Oh wow.
And they see like fish swimming by because it's up like 20 feet or something because it's when the snow melts, it's just like in it, like the snow melts like crazy and you think, oh, great. And then it doesn't happen to like a week later because it's just slowly piling up.
Of course.
Because it flows all the way out to the lake, and
So
then
you didn't
it
get like flash floods. You got slowly rising floods.
well, I mean, I would say somewhere in between.
Okay.
So, within a day or two, it would rise like crazy because it would back up there at the water, and then it would just be like, "Holy crap."
Did you guys go
So,
out on the river and like go water skiing and stuff like that?
no, I mean, not me, but there's people who would do like Sea-Doos and jet skis, and
Oh yeah. See,
it's not
Lorianne
really
lived.
like the where I grew up, the Grand River isn't really like an in my opinion, it's kind of a gross river, so like, it's just
Well,
kinda brown, and, yeah, you can go watch the fish jump in the fall, the salmon, there's a fish ladder, but, it would not appease me to ride Sea-Doos or jet skis down it, but certainly people do.
right.
It's just kinda to me, it was kinda gross.
Lorianne, her father had a boat, and they would always go out. Her father and her uncle, everybody, they all had boats, and they all go out and go water skiing and all that good stuff. And so that they grew up on that.
Yeah, I
Pretty
mean, we
cool.
did that,
I
like, on
guess.
lakes, like, there's the thing about being up north, when you don't have the gators and you have the clean water and it doesn't smell like a dirty diaper half the time, like, you actually wanna be on the lake, like, it's great, it's fantastic, you can go tubing, skiing, fishing, whatever, so we did a lot of that. I mean, people would have, like, cottages, where in the summer, their family would have a cottage further up north on a little lake or whatever, and that was kind of a cool thing, and, we would do some of that, but whereas here, it's like, it shocks me whenever I see people skiing or whatever in these lakes. It's like, how do you I don't know. Like, I mean, they seem to be fine, but like, and I know gators don't like to be around commotion, but like, there's always that little chance, like you run into one and your leg's just right there, and it's like, ah, like
Yeah,
I
I'm,
just
I'm not.
don't, I can't do it, man. But there's people like in Windermere and stuff, Lake Down and Lake Butler. They just, you know, there's a guy who comes to our store who's part of an excursion company, and they do jet skiing and tubing and fishing and parasailing, and they do it all in those lakes, and it's like, yeah,
I've been here for 30. This August will be 30 years on the dot,
mhm.
and I have not been in a lake. I will not go in a lake.
No.
No, I'll
Where
go
there's
on a boat.
water,
I'll go on a
there's
boat.
gators.
I don't have a problem. I'll go on a boat. That's fine. Get me on a pontoon boat or whatever.
Sure, yeah, that's different, but, like, you hear all these stories about people's, like, animals, like, getting eaten by a gator, and
They
you're like,
dive in
"Oh,
to
that."
try and save them, and they disappear too.
Well, you're like, "Oh, that's so sad," and then you read about, like, what happened, and or you watch people, like, I'll watch people outside in our ponds at night when we're running, and there's gators right there, and they'll take their dog off the leash and let it run a foot to the water. I'm like, "It's gonna get killed." Like,
Yep. Yeah.
you are stupid as shit.
Yeah.
Like, I love you, but you're retarded.
You're
Like,
right.
why the
That was a hard
would you
R too.
do that with your kid? They'll do it with kids, gay and dogs. It's like, they're going. I mean, you are. Do you know how lucky you are? First off, there's 89 Eastern indigos along the lake, all over the place, just running into you and crap. There's a few, gators on every tiny little pond, and they're showing themselves, and they're not big, but they're not tiny. They're 4 or 5 feet, and they just like they act like it's just like this outdoor wonderland. It's like, no, this is a wilderness, man. You got to be careful. Like, I love gators; they're beautiful, but at a distance, it's still nature. You got to respect. If you respect the gator, it's just a beautiful part of nature. It'll never even think about you.
When we were coming back on the train from Miami, we had a British family sitting across from us, and the little girl asked, she goes, "Are there a lot of gators?
Yep.
Where do I find the gators?" I said, "If you touch something and it's wet, there's gators."
Exactly.
They're like, "What?" I go, "Yeah, drain ditches. I don't care. They're everywhere. They show
Mhm.
up. They go in people's swimming pools for goodness sakes. I
Yep.
mean, I
They
mean
can climb.
that's
You know the fences you put up, the white, like, vinyl fences, they can climb those.
yeah.
Which,
Yep.
you're like, "No, they can't." Like, yes, they can.
Oh no, they can. They're not
They
they can climb wooden fences easier or I've seen gators walk through aluminum fences, like, they'll
Yeah.
bend the bars like they're nothing.
Yes.
Now, you know who loves white vinyl fences?
Cats?
Bears.
In terms of what?
They just walk right through them. They don't even try to climb them. They just poof, kick out the boards, and they just keep going.
Really?
Now, wooden ones, they try and climb because they can grip them. The vinyl, they don't. They just walk because I don't know if they've learned, but the pickets pop out, so they just push their way through and keep on trucking. So
Makes
there's a
sense.
neighborhood down the street from me that has a white vinyl fence around the whole perimeter, and I'll drive by every once in a while, I'll see on the backside of it, like, 4 or 5 pickets blown out, and I'm like, "Yep, bear cut through there.
Yep.
They'll want us to come fix it." Mhm. But,
Yep.
it's mother nature. Look, I was out walking my dog, and a car pulled up and said, "Hey, dude, go back in your house." And I was like, "First of all, who you talking to, bro?" You know, my jersey kinda came out a little bit. I'm like, "Excuse me?" And he's like, "There's a bear right there." And I was like, "Oh, okay, thank you," because my dog would have wanted to go play with him, and that's a no-no. I think Boswood would definitely been like, "Let me go see him. Let me see him."
Do you
Um,
ever see bears in your neighborhood?
yeah,
Or
that was
was
my neighborhood. He was
that
across the
was your
street.
neighborhood?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so get this.
I imagine there are probably quite a few of them around up there.
Oh, yeah, we have him here. So get this, my son-in-law forgot to take the trash out when we were in Miami, and I came home that week, and our garbage can was full, and it was nasty, and it stunk, and I keep my garbage cans in the garage because of this reason. So I put it outside, up against the house, pulled up a car, pushing it against the house with the car's bumper, right? Next morning, I came out, that dadgum bear knocked that sucker over, there's garbage everywhere. I was like, "You dirty scoundrel." And that was on I had already missed the trash that day, so, we had to wait for another week. Yeah, that was not nice. And once they rip a bag open, you get maggots in there, and so I actually, I signed up for a garbage cleaning service. I never thought in a million years I would do it, but I did. And they come, every couple weeks and clean my trash cans out. So because I keep them in the garage. I don't wanna put them. First of all, I could put them behind my fence on the side, but it's gravel, and it's a pain to roll them on there, and my like my wife says.
How does
Real
your trash get smelly? Don't you just bag everything?
Yeah, but when the bear ripped it open, it was all open and exposed, and I had to throw
No,
everything
I
back
I
in the
know I
bin.
know the event that happened, but on the normal.
Garbage just normally smells after. I mean, trash cans get dirty. These guys
Right,
who
but,
dump
I
it
mean,
out
they're
don't
in
take care of
bags.
it. And but there's stuff my kids throw stuff in there. It's just after time it
But
accumulates. So,
someone's throwing stuff in there without properly putting it in a bag.
well, I don't know if there's a proper way or not. I do just throw it in the garbage
Well,
can.
for example, you have a slide out, trash can in your kitchen, and it's got a bag, and it's a scent odor blocking bag, with a
Mhm.
tie,
Yep.
nice and strong, can be stretched, and you
Allegedly.
use that to take your garbage out, and someone finishes a banana, and they should put it in there, but they just decide on their way out they're gonna throw it in the trash can outside. Okay, well, that's a problem. You
Eh,
know what I'm saying? Like,
I
so,
get
like
it.
so, like, with ours, it's on the side of the house, and then we have one of your fences that's like a 3/4 fence, like, where the house is one wall, and then there's a front
Oh, you
fence
got the
wall.
garbage can blocker?
Right, so, like,
Yeah.
I don't have that thing. I only go to put anything in that once a day at most, if not every other, just to recycle, but then when it like, we don't there's no casual pass by chuck trash in it, like, it's all bagged perfectly, so, yeah, they need to be rinsed, but they never really smell.
You don't have, like, 87 kids living at your house either.
No, that's what I'm not saying you're filthy, I'm just saying you
Like
have
certain
people who probably are not following the rules perfect at all times.
probably. I would not disagree. And this is a funny
You know
thing.
what I mean?
Did you know I found this out that the recycling bins, you're supposed to just put your recycling in it, and your recycling should not be in a bag. I bag all my recycling because I have the double trash bin in my kitchen.
You're not supposed to.
I know. I don't care. I'll throw it all away in the same garbage can then if they want to give me a hard time. They've already tagged me before for it, so I told
So
them.
what I do is
I
like,
said, if you red tag me one more time, take the recycling bin back, and I will throw everything away because it goes to
so
the same place.
you have a 13-gallon container with a bag in it inside your house for recycling, right?
Correct.
Okay. So why don't you just once a day or every other day just take it out of your can and just empty it without changing the bag? I mean, I'm not saying not to change the bag ever, but recycle usually isn't as smelly as trash. So that bag, for me, like if I take the recycle out every night, I only actually change the bag maybe once a week. And when I change it, I have the option. I can either dump it in and then just throw the bag in the trash, or I can just throw the whole thing in the recycle and then cover the bag so they don't see it.
It's garbage, so I don't care. It just gets thrown away. And if they don't, like I told them, if you guys don't like how I recycle my stuff, take the recycling can and I'll throw everything away in the same trash can. And they have not bothered me ever since then. They showed up at my house and were tagging my garbage can. I said, "What are you doing?" They're like, "You can't do this." I said, "Well, then take the can and I'll just throw everything in the same trash can because I don't care." Oh, well, don't worry about it then. That's what I thought.
Florida's at least, your service and my service are their parameters on recycle
Are you Orange County?
yeah, they're redonkulous. Like I'm not going to read 89 pages of I'm going to throw in the stuff that I know can be recycled and
Well, I got in
whatever.
trouble because I was putting the Publix recyclable trash bag or the bags in the recycle bin. And
Yeah,
they
you
said,
can't
no,
do
no,
that.
no, you can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean?
You got to bring them
can't?
to the store.
I said, it says recycling on it
It's
right
plastic.
here. Yeah, I'm like, you guys are idiots.
They are, but like, I
And
mean,
I have a
plastic
friend
bags suck because like recycling them costs about as much money as it makes the recycling company. So like
Right.
it's a no-win.
I have a friend who will fight you that the garbage and the recycling goes to the same place. They don't sort it. It all just goes and gets burned. And I'm like, well, I've never been to a recycling plant, so I can't argue or disagree, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, that doesn't mean it's everywhere in the entire US, but
No, but I think here.
to say there are areas that probably don't really recycle much probably is true.
Yeah. So my friend throws everything away in the same thing. He doesn't care.
I mean, let's be real. Recycling. There are some forms of recycling that are extremely profitable and some that are break even. So, and I think that's why the grocery bags they separate them, because the only way that these companies can make like a penny per ton is like if everything's perfectly sorted already and ready to go.
Well, don't they do that when they get it to the plant?
What?
Sort it. Don't they have a sorting station?
I think plastic bags are like completely separate thing, like their own plant.
What about if it has a trash bag full of aluminum cans and bottles and stuff like that?
Yeah, they have sorting stations.
They'll just rip it out and sort it, right?
Yeah, I mean, to my knowledge, I've
do
probably
they
watched
melt
3
it there?
videos on recycling in my life. So
Right? Do they melt it there? Do you know? Or I
I
mean,
imagine so. I mean, I don't know. I imagine there's
recycling-
sorting facilities and there's repurposing facilities, and
this
I
is
don't
me
know.
being completely ignorant, so don't flag me, YouTube. But is recycling really environmentally friendly?
Sometimes it's not.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, it's like electricity, right? How much coal do you have to use?
Right.
So it's like, okay, and then lithium, how much cadmium do you have to mine? How do you mine the cadmium? Is that really environmental? Okay, you start to think like,
Well, everybody's is all gung ho about electric cars, EVs. And if they knew where the batteries came from and how horrible the batteries are, and you can't ever get rid of them. I mean, the next thing you know, we're going to be taking space shuttles to space to dump off batteries to float around.
Well, here's let's go off about that. Here's what I love about like what's the the Paris Accords, right? So there's countries that won't join Paris Accords, won't join BRICS. China. Or they'll join and then they'll just say, "Yeah, we'll do this." And it's like me saying, "Yeah, I'll be there," knowing full well I have no intentions. I just feel like okay, cool. So China is culturally one of those places where the answer is always going to be yes, but they're going to do what they're going to do. It's culture. Right. Get over it. So here's what I love about this whole thing, right? Like Teslas and lithium battery manufacturing, right? We shut down all the coal production in the U.S. because we don't consider it clean energy, okay? We mandate electrical vehicles that require coal to produce electricity. We say we need to reduce greenhouse emissions by not doing this in the US, which is the cleanest producer of energy. And then we turn a blind eye to the fact that now China is doing 95% of it, or India at the lowest standard in the world, completely and utterly polluting our planet.
Mhm.
And we pat ourselves on the back by saying, well, they're part of this accord. So
Right.
how come they just won't listen? Because they don't give a shit. Because it doesn't make them money, you dumbass.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's crazy that people fall for that shit. And it's like, no, listen, we need coal. We're going to mine it here. It's cleaner to mine here. We need it for electricity. Even cadmium, there's like 200 or so years of it in China to be mined. And there's like even more of it here, I believe. But we can't do it because it's this cadmium is this filthy process, this awful, environmentally destructive process that we know we can't do here and still look like a good, outstanding citizen. So we pay China to do it worse and then pretend like they're bastards and that we need to do better with the planet. It's like, you dumbass. Like, either make it or don't, but if you're going to make it, use it in the most developed, use it and make it in the most developed country with the most regulations, such as ours, so that you can get the cleanest result. But don't go pretending that just because electricity itself is clean as hell, that coal production and cadmium mining are not happening somewhere on the planet. And unfortunately, they're happening in worse situations than they should be because you've made it that way. And you say, look how holy I am, even though you're making the situation worse. That is exactly what happened. Thank you. The last 4 or 5 years. And it's like, are you serious?
Right.
Like, who buys this shit?
And then if you don't,
And that's why for electrical vehicles, I know there's a place for them, but I would never get a hard on over one. Like, I think hybrids are awesome. Plug-in hybrids are awesome. There's a place for electricity, but the way we do it is absolutely unethical and unprofit. And we should be the ones making the profit and doing it the cleaner way.
right.
It's crazy, man.
And here's the funny thing. My son-in-law is a firefighter. I probably mentioned this before. He's down in Southwest Florida. Amazing. What a great job he does. But during the big storms, they were having the Teslas or any EV catch fires, and they were following, I think, what Miami-Dade does. Whenever they have one of those catch fires, they get a industrial forklift, lift it up, and drive it to the canal and just drop it in the water because they can't put it out. They just they just put them in the water and let them burn underwater till they're done, and then they'll take them out of there. And like you can't put those batteries out. I don't care. And imagine the toxic smoke and garbage that's coming off that car when it's on fire.
Yep.
Nah. Give me my regular gas powered truck. And I tell you, that was the funniest thing when I bought
The way we were going about this is just the most
And here's the problem. Look,
awful.
you know I have solar on my house, right?
Yeah.
You have
I
solar, right?
didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know you had it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We live in the Sunshine State. It should be mandated every house and business has solar to
I don't
produce
agree with
energy. And then we would be selling energy and making money. Okay? But the problem is
You wouldn't be. They'd just net meter it back to the companies.
that's what I'm saying, but that's okay. That's fine. We the state would be debt free probably.
We are debt free.
Well, yeah. It's because we have a great governor.
No, it's because tolls cost $10 when I come over to your house. Even though we have no snow or need for road repair.
You know what the crazy thing was?
And it's our friendly tourists using that 10% hotel tax to give us that $21-22 billion surplus. Thank you so much. And that's why the mouse isn't totally evil.
I went to but listen, but if you had solar on everybody's house, we would be able to sell energy to other states instead of buying it from other states.
Yeah, no, I'm down with you there. I wouldn't mandate in the sense of the complications it puts on your house. Like, when I bought my house that had solar, and I knew as a buyer in a seller's market that I should shut up and sign the lease so I can get the house. But to be honest with you, I mean, these panels I have are a 5-year lease, I believe. They cost $370 a month. They raise my insurance approximately $150, $200 a month. Okay. So they take $600 out of my pocket. And then I will say electrical bills are only $33 a month. And probably the way we use AC and pool heating, it would probably be $800. So I probably save a little bit. But I can tell you, if I didn't have solar and it was electricity only, I would probably just leave my house a degree warmer and my pool 5 degrees cooler, and it'd probably be $400 or $500 a month tops, which is
Well,
cheaper. Which is
how much
cheaper than leasing the
how much is
panels
your
and having
electric bill?
insurance, because the insurance doesn't want to insure your home because you have a roof and it's over 10 years. They don't like you anyway. And now, if you have to replace your roof, you have all of these hole mounts driven. You have to completely have a company disassemble your panels.
Well,
It's an absolute, like,
so
I think it's fantastic for what it does, but all of the surrounding implications really suck.
I got a loophole with that one. But we have a metal roof, so I don't have to replace my roof. It's got a 100-year guarantee on it. I'll be dead by the time that roof needs to be replaced. And I actually, my solar, Duke has raised their prices so much that my solar just takes a bite off of my power bill. My power bill used to be like $44. I've had it as low as $4.95, but normally my power bills was anywhere between $45 and $65. Now I'm up in the 160 range because Duke has jacked up their prices and I'm not producing enough. And I called Duke and said, "What the heck's going on?" They're like, "Oh, you need to buy more panels."
Bullshit.
Really? More panels?
That's not true. You're getting screwed, man. You should call Duke in. Who's your solar? Is it Sunrun?
No, I don't know who it is. They went out of business.
Is it functioning properly? Do you have a live monitor that will tell you if something's up?
Yes.
Okay. Something's wrong.
I have Sunny Boy is the inverter. So I have the SMA app that I can go and look at my solar and see how it does.
Because once in a while, I've had it a couple times where
I've had to have it get serviced. It needed some things changed, and I've had to have them cleaned. That's very important. I did not realize that, but it's very important to get your solar panels cleaned.
Who does that?
You go onto Angie's List or Craig's, whatever, or Angie or Thumbtack.
See, again, like, just add all that to the box, and it's like,
you know how much it costs to get my panels cleaned? It was like $10 a panel.
Sure.
And that was once. That's once.
But do you ever run out of humanity energy from all the shit you have to maintain? You know, like if someone goes out and they're like, "Oh, I want 6 jet skis and 4 ATVs," and then they like, that's awesome, man. I think that's great if that brings you joy. If you can afford it, that's great.
Froze. Here we go. Maybe I froze.
But the maintenance, energy, and like, how do you remember to do all this stuff? I mean, after a while, I'll just forget, you know? It's just too much.
I called my mom the other day. I called my mom the other day. I said, "Hey, Mom, you want the house back?" She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I don't want it anymore. I'm tired of paying all the bills."
But no, yeah, I'm not even talking about payments. I'm talking about just remembering all of these maintenance plans. Like, okay, we have shit water, right? Culligan has to come here every couple months and do the salt. Sometimes they forget, so I have to freaking do their job for them, right? Sometimes
wait, you have someone put salt in your machine?
Yeah.
I go to Tractor Supply and I go buy a couple bags and every couple months and I just put it in myself.
Okay.
Why would you have someone put it in?
Why would I have someone put it in?
I mean, maybe my water
because it's kind of like with why would you have insurance on your water heater if you don't know? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Like, just because.
I mean, I just had to spend $700 on my water softener machine because the motherboard went bad. And
okay, well, I replaced my entire enclosure with motherboard, and it only cost me about $200 because I'm on their plan to where, like, I pay them $20 or $30 a month, and they service the
all right. So that's through Culligan,
right? I mean, I don't really. It's like having an AC plan for $20 a month, but you get half off your parts and labor. You know, hey, I mean, shit. If you're going to maintain it right, it makes sense. So
You know what?
let's
I may have to
so
see if
whether you
my
have that, even my point is nowadays in 2025, even if you're paying for people to do everything for you, they're missing their system so bad that half the time you have to remind them to do their job for them. So not only because your energy times 8 and you have to pay them to do all this stuff, you have to remember for them. And like I don't know about you, but I have what the salt system, the plumbing systems, the HVAC systems, the AC systems, the electrical systems, the um shit. The insect control systems, the pool systems, the solar systems, this and that and that. And there I mean, there's probably 19 different companies. It's insanity. And I lived up north. We didn't have all this. Like
I have
so I could have something go wrong with my solar heated circulation system on my roof. It's not the solar company, it's not the pool company, it's not the plumbing company. It's a solar circulation system that's backed up 6 weeks and it's my point is with all this is that it is I think wrap it right back to solar panels. Why I don't like the concept of more stuff in general is because it's I can't keep up with it all. It's too much, dude. And like I've owned houses many times. I've built houses. I've flipped houses. I'm just saying that with all the systems we require here in Florida, because our water sucks balls and it's hot
yeah,
as hell.
yeah.
Like our water's hard as shit. Dude, I have the Culligan system. I have filters under my sink that I have to replace annually at minimum, filter in my fridge, filters on every single one of my shower heads, and air filters. Like in Michigan, our water from the Great Lakes and through the plant was drink it out of the tap like
Yeah.
it's filtered. It was soft. There wasn't filters on anything.
Well, in
It,
Jersey, we had
it
well
tasted
water.
fantastic. My point is here in Florida, there's just too much already.
Well, like I said, in Jersey, we had well water, so we had to have a system because it was hard water. So my dad
Right.
put in a softener,
Right. Just like
and
here.
I put the salt in it. I was putting the salt in it. As he'd bring home them 50-pound bags and make me lug them down to the basement and put it in.
I mean, I've done it before, but that's not the point. The point is just remembering to do all this stuff.
Well, I mean,
You know.
I have the soft water system. The Popka water's terrible. Um, I have solar. I don't have a pool. I don't want a pool. Just for the simple fact that's just more work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, I mean, I have a home warranty, so I pay a certain amount of money, and then if something breaks, I pay a deductible, which is $75, and they come out and fix it or replace it, whatever needs to be done. My refrigerator, my hot water heater, my air conditioning unit, everything's covered. I need to find out if my water softener is covered because if I hadn't, I thought about that, maybe I wouldn't have had to shell out $750 the other day.
I mean, that's like in total brand new an $8,000 system to have a full home water softener put in. So it ain't cheap.
No, when we bought it, I bought it through a friend of a friend. It was a company. He was the manager, and he gave us a really good deal. And we got it put in. I don't remember. I think it was $3,500, whatever it was for the whole system.
That's pretty
And it was,
freaking good.
that was like his price, blah blah blah, whatever. And I was telling the guy because he was telling me the motherboard's bad, and I was like, well, it's $750. I go, how much is it to replace the system? He's like, I don't know, 5 to 8 grand. I'm like, just replace the motherboard.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it.
Yep.
One thing we had to do down here, and I'm not a fan of this, but we had to get the house repiped because this house was built in '96, so it had that Chinese PVC
Mm-hmm.
that they were have the polybutyl whatever it is, blah blah blah, that was splitting. Instead of getting holes in it, it would split, and you'd never know where the leak was, and you'd have a major catastrophe. So my wife heard that, and we had to get the house repiped. That was about $4,500,
That's
and
actually not bad.
this was when we bought the house. This was 2617, somewhere around there,
Okay.
16.
It's probably double or triple now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But they run the pipe. It's a CPAX, which is kind of cool. But they run it through the attic. Everything is run through the attic. So the first couple minutes you have your water turned on, it's scorching like the sun hot, And when I was a kid, my water in my parents' house was so cold that the faucet would get condensation on it. It was so cold. It literally would take your breath away. It was delicious. We had a well. And I wish we could have wells down here, but you don't want to drink what's under the ground in Florida.
No, you do not.
You do not want to drink swamp water.
Gator juice.
Yeah. Gator babies. They got them swamp babies down there. Swamp, as my friend calls them, swamp puppies.
My whole point of my rant was that the solar panels is just another thing about a Florida house that is more than a typical nationally average homeowner can bear in their mind to keep track of maintenance wise.
Did your house come with solar? Or did you?
The original owner put it in. Yeah, I don't think it was constructed with it, but the original owner put it in, and then it was there when I bought it.
Because there's new neighborhoods going up that they're building their smart houses, I guess, and they're putting solar on them.
That's fine. I mean, it doesn't matter either way, but back to my point, the people before us who had this house, there was the original owner who was here for 5 years, and then the intermediary owner between us and the original was only here a year. And in that year, I think it was a younger couple, like in the, first house, 30s, parents probably helped them, kids, struggling to balance life and everything. And I'll tell you what, that first year, every system in this house you could tell was not maintained because I had goopy condensation and weed growth and around my condenser unit and dirty. There wasn't even a air filter in the AC. There was no filter in the actual evaporator. I had dirty coils. I had old filters. I had no salt. I had a green pool. I can't even, I can go on for, there's probably a million things that I forgot. Oh, half the electrical stuff, man. It's crazy. I can't even, you don't even want to know.
Everybody's dream to own a house and be a homeowner and have all the bells and whistles till you realize all the crap you got to do. Or
the problem is a home is not an investment, or it's the big real estate people will convince you it's a liability. And even though I'm siding more and more with them, they do that so they can buy it and own the asset and then rent it out, and because that's the way the world's going. But it used to be, it was your big retirement thing, but nowadays I don't think it's either. I don't think it's a liability or equity. It's basically with the interest, the taxes, and the maintenance you pay, you're probably throwing away more than if you're renting.
The only way to own a home, and I say this, is if you can pay it off.
I can tell you that my house payment is $1,000 more per month than my rental was the first year here, and I'm throwing away more per month in sunk cost with my home that I own than my rental, if that makes sense.
Well, I was going to read something to you.
I'm putting in probably just under or at $1,000 of equity a month, and the rest is all sunk costs, maintenance, BS. Honestly, like, you're right. Like, the only way to buy a house is in a downturn, or build it, or pay it all off immediately. Own it for the life of it, so you maintain there's only a few good ways left to do it.
Right. And listen to this. Renting versus owning. Renting is not throwing your money away. You rent a place. Now, these are just fictitious numbers, so don't jump all over me. You rent a place for $1,500. Oh, but wait, my mortgage is only $13, so it's cheaper, right? But I don't have to pay for insurance when I rent. Insurance is $200. Property tax, I don't pay for that.
You do. It's just a ton less.
Well, you can get renter's insurance if you want. You don't have to.
I think you have to.
No, I've rented and never had.
Okay, I think you're retarded if you don't. Keep going.
I agree with you there. I should, if I'd known, I would.
It's like $100 a month for a lot. Yeah.
Property tax is $0 when you rent because it's part of your rental. So $480 a month. Utilities are $150 maybe. Now, of course, these numbers are lowballed, obviously.
Sometimes when you rent, they include a utility or two in there. Not always, but sometimes.
And then utilities at a house is $300. Landscaping is $0. It's $120, if you own. And repairs and maintenance, let's say $190 a month. So you come out in
HOA.
The end, you come out in the end.
And we didn't even talk about the interest versus principal on your mortgage amount.
Correct.
So if you don't put anything down and your mortgage is $1,300, there's a good chance only $200 is principal.
In the end,
at the very end of the day, even if they're break even from a top level standpoint,
right,
you're only getting $200 of equity a month in the beginning. Of course, that gets better later in the mortgage, but like, let's say your uh, mortgage with tax insurance and maintenance is like $300 more a month than your rent, and you're only getting 200 of equity in your mortgage currently, you're actually throwing away an extra $100 by having your mortgage.
I think
So it's like you got to have cash, low interest rates, build your own, buy during a recession. It's just going out there right now in Florida and buying, just it's shit. I mean, our situation that we bought in was shit. We knew it was shit. We just needed somewhere to live.
I
And
think I don't think I would have ever owned a home other than the fact we kind of got jammed up with the dogs. So
yeah,
we had big dogs, and most of
it's
them
hard
were
to rent.
people might have thought they were breed restriction or whatever. I had a cane corso and a Rottweiler, and people, they're scared of those dogs, whatever. But so we bought a house, and you know, we had a 10-year plan when we moved in here. We knew exactly what we were gonna do. We had to do. We had a list of things we had to do, and we've done it in 9 years. We got lucky and did it before the 10 years. That doesn't mean tomorrow that I'm gonna have to replace an electrical system or a circuit board or something. Who knows? If we're telling this to the kids because they want to go buy a house. They're getting, Jana's getting married in June, and they want to go buy a house, and I'm like, why? They're like, what do you mean why? I go, my water softener system just broke. I had to spend $750. Okay. When you rent, you go, hello, Mr. Landlord. Can
Yeah,
you come fix it? There you
yeah.
go.
If you have a landlord who owns 30 homes and he has like a realtor who's their maintenance and management company, all you do is call them up and
Yep. We had our landlord when we rented in Mount Dora. He had that American Home Shield, which is what I have on my house. And if something went wrong, he would say, just pay the deductible when the guy comes out and fixes it, and I'll take it off your rent. So deductible was $100. He'd come out and fix the refrigerator, whatever it might have been. And then he'd just take it off my rent. It wasn't any skin out of my pocket, to be honest with you. It made no difference to me whatsoever. And so I'm it's great owning a home. I love the fact I own my own home.
well, that's the thing too. Like rental's awesome because you don't have to do shit or pay shit. But at the very end of the day, it's like one of those things where it's like not having kids, right? We don't have kids. Cool, man. We don't have to spend the money on the kids. It's not hard on kids. But at the end of the day, your deep down soul says, man, I wish I had a family. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's just how we're built. With a home, with a rental, I'll be honest with you. When we rented it the first year we were here, it was like the best I've had. I hadn't rented since I was like 18 or 19. It's been a long time. And it was awesome.
Where'd you guys live?
We lived right by the Loop.
Oh, over there in Osceola.
Kissimmee, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
direct route to Disney, but all Spanish.
Se habla.
Unfortunately. But
Well, Kissimmee is the capital of Puerto Rico.
yes.
Yeah.
But it was definitely the best year of my life in terms of living, but that urge was always there to like, I want to change that or I want to paint that, but I can't.
Right.
I want to put that artwork up, but why should I? We're just going to move out of this in a year. You know what I'm saying? So like you don't plant your roots really.
Well,
And
here's
I think that leaves an empty hole in your fulfillment or desire. And so from a emotional standpoint, I think a home is a wonderful thing for anyone. And for a fulfillment standpoint, from a financial, it's become increasingly a more poor decision in most people's cases because of how much you have to finance and how much maintenance and cost there is with owning that piece of
right.
property. In fact, even the big landlords that own the houses, like I have a friend who was a customer of ours years ago as well. And his dad went out and after the recession, they immigrated here from China. He bought 68 homes in 08, 09
Right.
for an average of probably 60, 70 grand.
Sure.
Since then, he's sold half of them. He's probably made 10 times that amount in sales. And then they still rent out half of them. And I can tell you it's lucrative because they're all paid.
Well,
They're
hindsight's
all paid
2020.
for.
When I first moved to Florida, we bought our first house in Altamont, nice big community, gated, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, blah 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 blah. $100,000. And I back then I said, Dad, why don't we buy a bunch of other houses and just be landlords? And he wasn't willing to do it, but I wish we had because
Yeah.
we'd have been set. But
No
anyway,
shit.
or we would have been screwed when the recession hit. But we moved to Mount Dora. Jana was in middle school or elementary. I don't remember. But anyway, we signed a 10-year lease because we wanted to live there so the kids could grow up in the same neighborhood, go to the same school, blah, 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 right?
Mhm.
And this is the downside to renting. The guy was 100% behind it. He loved it. He loved us. He was a great landlord. Um, Never had a problem. And then his mom passed away, and he's like, I don't need two homes. He goes, you guys are first to, if you want to buy it. At that time, he was asking. Yeah. Did I freeze?
What?
Did you lose me?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we moved into there in 2013. So 3 years into our 10-year lease, he says, I'm gonna put the house up for sale. I'm sorry. He goes, if you guys want to buy it, you can. If not, take your time, find a place, whatever. He goes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so we moved out. That's when we had to buy a house because I was like, nobody's gonna rent us a house like this guy. And so when we were looking for houses, oh my gosh, people are ridiculous. Some of these houses we went into, I mean, they're just they were asking astronomical dollars. Anyway, we got lucky, found this place, and we bought it, and we've been here ever since. Now, that's the downside to renting. But I've been in situations where I've done a fence job for a guy. He's the landlord, and he says, my tenants are great. They've been there for 20 years. They just need a new fence. Can you go give me an estimate? Great, no problem. That's awesome. He's got a cashing flow that these people have been there for 20 years. And
Yeah, it just doesn't always happen that way.
no, because then there's other people who they move in and 6 months later they're moving out. We had a guy across the street from us. The guy moved in. I don't know that he even signed with a company or they just moved in and were squatters for a little while and then they got out of there. But that was a shady situation. He was there. He never said hi. He wouldn't. I'd be like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" He'd turn around, walk away. I'm like, that ain't neighborly. That's not cool. But it was just that's the situation. And you also don't. Then we had another house across the street, the other way, that they finally just put it up for sale. It's been a rental since we lived here, and everybody who's rented that house has been like slobs or party animals or whatever. And they finally, I think the company just said, "Screw it, we're selling it," and it's up for sale right now. They're asking a lot of dough for that too, and I'm like, it's going to sit empty for a while because there was 3 houses on my street that have been empty for quite some time because they're asking way too much. That's why I'm not going to put my house. I'm not going to sell my house. But if I wanted to put my house on the market, I have these people call me all the time. We have a buyer for your house. Like I said, Are they willing to write a nice check? Well, how much are you looking for? I said, I won't take less than 500. Well, your house isn't worth 500. I said, to me, it sure is. How do you know what my house is worth? You're calling me on the phone. You don't know what my house looks like. You don't know what I've done to it, you know? And they're like, well, we'd be willing to offer you 170. I said, I'll punch you in the face. You better add another zero or something to that because you
Well, I
don't
don't even
insult
know
me.
why you take those calls.
Oh,
Those
I do it for
calls are
fun.
just
I
people
love having
trying
fun with them.
they're trying to get people out of distressed situations and
Yeah, yeah,
capitalize
yeah.
on
I
it.
mean, that's what Daniel does. I know
So
who he is.
I love Daniel, but I hate that element.
Well,
Um,
here's the problem. I
Homes
don't know
and
why
business wise, I think it's disgusting.
I don't know
Um,
why they call me
it's called the
because my
vulture
house is
system.
not like an inheritance. My house is not one of those that like Daniel calls people they've inherited the house and they don't want it, stuff like that. And he's trying well, he doesn't call me as a team, but and I don't know. Eh, It's a way to make a living. He's making a good living. He's on the road living in his RV.
No, I know. I don't like vulturism.
Yeah.
I just like for me, my ethical framework, I would never do vulturism even if it made me money. Just my personal preference. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. Just
I
like
understand because I wouldn't
and
do
that's
it either.
because I have people who like that they'll try to buy my business for pennies, and it's like just because the P&L looks a certain way, and I'm like, screw you. You're just gonna fire everybody, and then your P&L is gonna be you're gonna make your entire equity back in a year, and you're just vulturing me. Get out of here when I put 18 times as much into it. So I mean, I don't appreciate that. I get it. I get it. If you're the buyer, I get it. If it's the way you make your living, I get it. I respect it, but I have no time for it.
No. You actually have people call you out of the blue trying to buy your business, or are they coming through your business sales page?
Both.
Yeah. Don't they
Yeah,
have to go through a broker?
you don't have to.
So if you own a business, I
Mhm.
don't know if businesses have MLS, like
No,
houses.
no.
No, they don't. So it's like on a business for sale page, and you could just call the business. You don't have to call the realtor.
Yeah, you don't have. There's no commercial realtor has to be involved or broker or anything if you don't want. No.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So
I
it's
mean, I
like a
could just call a
Zillow.
business and say, "Hey, I want to buy your business. Do you want to sell it?" No, f you. Okay, you could do that 97 times, and two people say, "Yeah, cool. All right, let's sign a non-disclosure agreement. Let's get it over to the attorney, and then let's take a time to sit down and look at your P&L, go over that, put a valuation on it. Like a mergers acquisition company, a broker will put a by the book valuation, but honestly, if you have half a brain and it's not a mega business, it's really not that big of a. I mean, you find out how much capital equipment there is, how many assets, and then you add that, and then you add anywhere from 2 to 5 years of bottom line profit, depending on what the market's like in the industry, and that's your valuation of the business. So you don't need anybody to do that.
Huh.
You can just go out and buy
I
it. I see
actually,
that with
so I went
websites all the time.
years ago. I went to real estate school. One of the things that interested me was commercial brokers,
No, they make a
and
ton.
I talked to a commercial broker, and he was going to bring me on as apprentice, but I had to get my license, and I never got my license. My father passed away, and it turned into a big mess, so I never got my license. But I kind of wish I had, because when I went up to Jersey in '05 and worked for the car dealership up there, one of my clients was the commercial real estate guy in New York City, and his initials were not DT, but it was close enough. And he offered me a job. He's like, "Why don't you come work for me?" He's like, "Dude, you're a hammer," because I gave him a pretty hard time. We negotiated for quite some time. Um, and I he showed me. I saw his credit, and he showed me his bank account and what he made in a year, and I was just like, "What am I doing selling cars? This is ridiculous." But
Yeah.
then I'd have to work in the city and all that other, and I nah. Anyway,
I
I
mean,
could
commercial brokers and realtors are. I mean, that's where it's at. The only time it gets better is when you are the commercial owner,
right,
the landlord.
right. And I'm sure there's a lot of commercial brokers that buy stuff and they do that themselves too.
Hmm. Yep.
I mean, if I'm
I
if
know a
I'm
couple.
out there looking at buildings all day long and run across one that somebody's just trying to get rid of and it's cheap, I'm buying it.
The commercial realtor who I signed my lease with, 4 years ago, him and his brother are wildly successful within their company and within their other ventures too, and they have crazy life balance and crazy good money and just it's. I'm
So they
envious.
own the building and you just rent from them.
No, they don't own it. They have other buildings they have bought because they make money as commercial brokers, but they don't own the
Who
one I'm in.
who owns the building you're in? Is that another
S
big
Slate
conglomerate?
Asset Management Group, they're in Chicago.
Yeah, so you pay them.
I pay the management company, actually. I mean, most of these. Let's put it this way, I don't know how big Slate is, but Site Centers owned our building when I leased there, and at that time, you know what our little strip mall looks like. It's probably 10, 12 units, but
What's a
there's some
big
anchor
anchor store?
stores. So they owned 78 of those at the time throughout the US, and they're out of Columbus, okay? Slate bought them out and they're bigger, so they have an actual management company that manages the maintenance, the security, the accounting, all that kind of stuff. The utilities, yeah.
What's the anchor store in your strip mall?
We have Marshalls and Ross,
Do you? Okay.
and we're getting a Burlington next to us, which kind of sucks.
Are you getting a Burlington?
Yes.
I thought there was a Burlington down there across the street. Are they
There
moving?
is, man. They're all over. There's a Ross across the street too. Like there's a
Is there
Ross every
really?
10 feet.
Oh, at least you could have um sorry, my hand is sore. You could have CVS and Walgreens on either side of you, so
Right. Right. I mean, they're all over.
They're every. I don't know if they're like that up north, but down here in Florida, every corner is a CVS and a Walgreens and a
I know
gas
why
station.
Ross does it. Ross is in the real estate game. They're not in the retail game.
So, I was talking to my occupational therapist. He's been with Advent Health for 30. He started with them in 1990, and they opened the one in the RDV in 95 or 6, I think. And he's been
Mhm.
there since. And we were talking about the name change because they used to be called Florida Hospital and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, they've always been Advent, but Florida Hospital because we were here. And then they switched it to Advent. I said, but they're not in the hospital industry. He goes, they're not? I said, no, they're in the real estate industry.
Yeah.
I said, they just happen to build hospitals on every piece of land they buy.
The
But
true
they're in the real
players are in the real estate industry.
Yep. So there is a car dealership. I won't mention it here in town that had a Chevy store, and they had several Chevy stores. And they Chevy sold a franchise. GM Chevy sold a franchise that was close to them and said, "You guys never had permission to open the Chevy store there. You just happened to put a Chevy store there. This guy has the franchise rights to the territory. You have to close your Chevy store down." And the guy's like, "I'm not going to do it." He's like, no, this is the car business. This is how it works. You're going to do, you know, you're going to do it.
You froze again. You're frozen.
Did I lose you?
You're back. You were frozen for like 2 minutes.
This internet tonight is ridiculous. I don't know what's going on. I just
You were
had the
Big
internet
Papa
company on
Pump
here.
with the 1,000 gigabytes per juice a minute.
Yeah, well,
Now you ain't shit.
I also have someone out there watching TV, someone in the other room gaming. Everybody's phone is on it.
The fuck is gaming in your house?
John.
Tell him to stop.
He goes to work and then he comes home and plays his video game. Leave him alone. He makes, he's a good kid. And he's not going to live here very long. This is his stopover.
So you think.
Oh no, he has a deadline. There is a deadline.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so anyway, this Chevy dealership, like I was telling you, they put the franchise there and they flipped out and said, this isn't going to work. And so anyway, the Chevy company said, "This is the car business. We're here to sell cars and you don't have the franchise rights to this area." And the guy's like, "Look, man, I'm not in the car business. I'm in the real estate business. I buy property and I put my dealerships there." And so this Chevy took away all Chevy franchises. They had like 3 of them and took them all away. They had no more rights to sell Chevy. So, and they had a big store, a big store. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm looking at my download and my uploads right now. I'm in the thousands. Whatever. It's also 6 p.m. and everybody in the neighborhood probably just came home and kicked on their internet and decided. Or maybe it's live streaming. I don't know. I actually paid Riverside for this live studio plus, so I don't know what the heck's going on.
Maybe it's the studio.
Maybe we need to fire them. You guys are fired. Right. Anyway, well, this went into an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody watching was just excited. Just lost. Streaming. So if recording resolution is 1080p, streaming is 720 HD.
Ew.
I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway.
That's crappy.
But you're at 99% uploaded at 1080, and I'm at 99% uploaded, so that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for all you out there watching, I do apologize if there was some interruptions. I'm not sure if my internet's wonky. I don't maybe it's storming outside. I can't hear. I'm in my studio. So hey, Derek, here's what I'm thinking. Two thoughts. I'm thinking about painting my wall behind me black and getting some neons,
Okay.
or covering the wall with sound uh, cubes, and then maybe hanging a neon or something back there.
Okay.
What do you think? I saw a guy's studio. He had a black. I thought it was black drapes and pipe. It was just painted.
I think it's quite common to have black or just like green shrubbery, with a neon
Sure.
sign or
Between the
whatever,
two ferns.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's
I mean, I like have you seen? You remember Daniel's studio?
yeah.
He had a chalkboard. His wall was painted like a chalkboard, so he could write on
Yeah.
it. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't have fancy handwriting, and I'm not going to ask Lorianne to come in here and draw my stuff there. So I'm probably not going to do that. But this guy's studio was cool, and he didn't have anything like neon that was just like his logo or anything. It was just cool, like lightning bolts or something he had back there, and it was pretty interesting. I was watching.
That's cool.
I watched someone's podcast the other day. I have no idea what they're talking about, and they have a lot of followers. And I was like, "What are these guys talking about?" I'm totally lost. But anyway,
Who?
I'm not going to say.
Why?
It's nobody. It's nobody famous. It's somebody I know.
Okay.
And it was not it was not our other co-host. He doesn't have a lot
Okay.
of
I
followers.
was like,
No. I know what
okay.
he's talking about. He's talking about how his butt still is hurt because Trump won, and he's still
Yeah,
crying
everything's
about
all Trump this, Trump that. Like
how
people have such
bad
a
the big
hard
orange
on.
man is. He's mean. I should have him on one
Man.
night so we have a
I don't think there's ever been I think since Jesus and everyone had a hard on to get rid of him, which,
I don't
religiously
know
there
that I
was
would use the word hard on and Jesus in the same sentence.
well, I'm talking about like the Jewish religion, it was
I know
blasphemy
what
to
you meant.
say, there was real conviction behind it, so it went down.
I hear you.
Um I don't think since then there has been well, I don't know history, but I gotta believe that Trump's the next.
If our buddy was on right now, he'd be like, "Are you comparing Trump to Jesus?" I'd be like, "Dude,
No,
pay
I'm
attention
just
to what you're
saying that I
saying."
don't know of anyone else in history
Yeah.
who's
Yeah,
had
yeah.
more people have a hard on for just whatever his move is. It's like, chill out. Like,
You know
why
what?
do you care so much? Like,
We gotta have trivia on one of these
we
days. We
spent the
haven't
last
used it.
4 years with like a dead man and like making jokes, but
Come
like,
on, Jack. I'm
I
not
don't
dead,
think we
Jack.
got hard ons over every decision, did we?
I did not ever once get
Did we ever get a hard on
I did not
about just
ever
how
once go to the
horrible that
streets.
Biden was as of a person? It's like, no, I mean, but he
I don't
is.
think there was ever one time that I went to the streets and, threw a temper tantrum that he needs to be, put in jail and executed or something, That was definitely never, ever, ever done.
Even though he defrauded your tax dollars through the Ukraine incentives.
Yeah, I hear
But
you.
oh, that's
Now what
okay.
and let me ask you,
Don't
what
mind the
happened
man
to
behind the
the
curtain.
what happened to the Ukraine-Russian war? I mean, I'm sure it's still going on, but I haven't heard anything.
What? You haven't heard anything? It's been on the news all the time.
No, I don't pay
Trump has
attention
been
to the news.
talking to all of them, all leaders. Trump has been talking to Putin, Zelensky. They hate Putin
Supposedly
and Zelensky do not like each other, and the talks are good, and whatever, and then they just keep bombing each other. So it just keeps going and
same
going and going.
did you hear was it Putin or Xi who told Yahoo that he better stop the Gaza war?
I don't know.
I was like, first of all, I'd be like, who are you telling me to do what? And second of all, I just thought it was ridiculous. But you
Yeah,
know what? We
well,
don't talk politics on this show because this will get us
they have
freaking-
stakes in that land and that energy, that Iran has. So when it comes
this
to
will get us
nuclear, oil, and weapons, those three, Iran, China, and Russia, they are in bed. They've been in bed for a long time.
this will get us boycotted or banned or
They got
whatever.
the oil weapon nuclear menage a trois,
Menage a trois.
and that's it's a power move for them. So
Still
messed up but true, sad but true.
no wrinkles and still swollen and shiny.
That ain't bad. Just
No,
another
it's
year.
bad. It's bad. You need to have wrinkles and not be swollen and shiny.
Ugh.
Yeah. You can
Still
see the
bad.
bite mark right there.
Yep.
See the bite mark right there.
Jeez.
Was broken here.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But as the doctor and my occupational therapist both said, if you had never gotten the infection, if the first hospital had taken care of you, we would have never met. I said, I know. I know.
Sounds like
Anyway,
malpractice.
we got a great show coming up Thursday night. I don't know if you're going to be on it for the whole time. You've already staked your claim to your hard 7:30 end.
No, I'll be on it. I'll be on it.
Because, guys, if you are wanting to be a entrepreneur, you need to tune into our show when we post it. We are having the CEO of Bentley Cigars come on, and he is phenomenal. I spent the other night with him at a cigar bar here in Winter Park, and we got to talk. And he is also, I'm not going to go into it, but he's another partner owner of Hooten and Young, which is a whiskey and cigar company. And he has some other things, and he's going to try and get his dad on because his dad and him do another.
You're frozen.
Did I freeze again?
Yep.
Anyway, his dad and his dad do a thing called Shoulders of Giants, which is a phenomenal. So we're going to get into that. So tune in for our show. We're going to it'll be recorded Thursday night, and we're going to post it on Friday. I do apologize again for all the disruption. I don't know what the heck's going on with my internet connection. I'm going to fire
It's you,
somebody.
though.
It is. I know. I got it. I figured it out because it keeps popping up telling me my internet is slow, which is baloney. So I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm thinking. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to us ramble, bamble, jamble. And stay tuned because we keep pumping out show after show. I can't wait till we're in the hundreds. I mean, I look forward to it. But until next time, you guys make sure you go to all the social, subscribe, like, tell us what your thoughts are, what you want us to, who you want us to interview, who you'd like us to talk to, what you'd like us to talk about. I don't care. Whatever it might be. Ooh, who are we killing?
I don't know.
For video, we're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. I'm sorry, X,
TikTok,
Instagram. Check us out there. Or if you want to just listen to us, a lot of people love to just listen rather than video. We're on all the platforms. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on all of them. So get out there, follow us, show your love to the No Brainer Show. And until next time, we want to thank you and tell you we love you and peace.